Timberborn and our update 7 Let's Play. It's been a little while because life, and there were a few updates which broke the mods that I use, and that meant that I wasn't able to load this save at the point that I wanted to play it, so I couldn't record. We can now, so we can get stuck in. And one of the updates was to change how power shafts work, so we should go have a look at that. And we've got some random downward power shaft connections there. So the way the devs have changed them, and you've probably seen other people use them already now, is we just have a power shaft and a solid power shaft. And I've not used them yet, but we can now just click and drag, and then we can connect in the side if we want to. And then we have the power shaft, the solid power shaft, and with that we can then make connections that go upward. That's a little bit less elegant, but you know, if we want to make corners and stuff, we can. Yeah, so that's kind of that. Let's just delete all of that so no one comes in and builds it. But that does mean that all of our existing power stuff has been redone. So it might be worth us just having a little look around to make sure nothing has been broken. It should all be okay. I mean, that looks a bit funky, but yeah, no. Looks like everything is connected still. Everything's got power, so we're probably okay. I think it's a good change overall. Yeah. So there are a few bits that we need to do. I need to make sure these are put back to automatic so that they will do their thing. We need to be aware of if a bad tide comes in to disconnect this. I had we'll get to the next bits in a bit. I think that was predominantly it. So the prevailing theory is that this is affected by the waterfall limit, based on some testing that Skystorm did. So I will take that as good enough for us. So we probably need to come over here and adjust this. Probably the easiest thing to do is to I'm not sure actually what the easiest thing to do is to get us an extra edge here. Because we're potentially going to end up with water being trapped. Or we just accept that we're not getting the full benefit. Which is an option. The alternative is we make this quite a lot bigger so that there's room for it to mix. Which is maybe not the worst idea. We just come out a little bit, and that actually might be better for then pushing the bad water off the map. I think for now I'm going to leave that because I want to work on the next project. I haven't forgotten the boat either, the ship, pirate ship. So we are going to look at some bots. So I did ask last time about whether we should not do bots, and the suggestion was to do a small number of bots, and I like that idea. We can then reduce our injury problem. And I think we're going to do them over here because this is where a lot of our dangerous jobs are anyway. And we could maybe separate them off to be a separate district. We could come over here and use this mine, and we could stop using the mine here. We could move the metal production over as well. We could have it all as a little bot district doing dangerous bot things. So with all of that rambling out of the way, what I think we'll do, and that maybe that's a sensible way to make use of the power we could maybe generate from some power generation over here. So there's a few things that I want to do. I'm going to delete these. We're going to rework this path. We're going to straighten that out. Do we need that path? We don't. Not particularly, I don't think. No. Actually, what we could do, what we should do. I didn't have any strong feelings from people either way, so I think we will go with the gravity battery and windmill route on here. So I'm going to put those in. And this will give us a big power source. The reason I think windmills is the choice to go for is, although they won't generate as much power, they will generate constant power. Whereas if we go with water wheels, we will only get power during bad tides, and that's only going to be potentially a third of the time. So, yeah, that's my logic. And then my thought is, it doesn't ask because I'm right up near the map. Duh. So what we're going to do is put them in on platforms so that the beavers can get underneath them. And it's going to increase the cost, I know, but it's 2 gap, isn't it? So let's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, platform. Do I just, let's just, because we're going to have to connect the power anyway. And I think we're okay for planks. So do that. We'll then leave a gap of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, there. So we're only going to get 2 rows in. So do I actually put them there so it's symmetrical? I think we do. And then maybe actually we could have a combination of both. So, let's put all of those in. Let's have the game running. Because why not? The gravity batteries will not be the highest power generating things in the world, but they will generate some power. And some power is, well, the highest storing power. That's what I mean. Generating. There. Power. You and you. And then do I... Because what I'm thinking then is that we can go there. There. So what we could do is we could delete path. path. To here. And I think that should allow them to reach that still, yep. And then we could put in water wheels and they will do the cross connection. And then we get kind of the best of both worlds, I guess, in that during a bad tide, we'll get a boost in power generation. Now, no, or probably, we could get more idealer power generation if we focused the flow to go through the water wheels, but this will be good. This will generate us lots of stuffs. I'm going to listen to the advice I often get given and deprioritize a whole load of this. In fact, all of it. So that's a low priority job because we want to prioritize the new stuff we're going to be doing. And that's going to start with coming up here. Delete that. We can connect that there still. And then we can go back to deleting this stuff. Yes, I'm just going to delete this. I know it's probably going to upset some of you, but it's fine. It really is. I mean, that we could do that with, and then delete all of that. So that's there. I just want to get rid of all this unnecessary pathage before I start. There we go. That's a bit better. What I want to do then is we're going to disconnect you temporarily. Do that. And then you get connected to there. You're going to be connected to there. And we shouldn't need to. I'm going to prioritize those. And then we're going to try and get a zipline station in here. So I'm going to do that. We're going to tunnel out. Not entirely sure what level we want to tunnel out. It doesn't want to let me tunnel. Okay. So we need to try and get to wherever that was. But yeah, we need to find that piece which is there. So we're going to need to gain access to that. So we'll staircase up to it, I guess. And we'll get the clock running again. So I have to keep pausing. One of the dogs is a little bit under the weather today. He had to go to the vets yesterday and he's feeling the effects of the tests they did. So We've got all the components they need for those. That's refilling. Yep, that is refilling. Awesome. So we'll get that going on. Those are in, so that's reconnected. Because that should connect through there. Yeah. I think I just saw a beaver used. Yep, cool. So we now need them to get that out. And then I'm kind of curious as to why we can't place one there. I might end up going above it and taking out some of this. And we could always put dirt back in there. Oh, if I put that there, they're not going to be able to place the tunnel. Let's let them do that first. And then, can we tunnel that now? No, we cannot. So let's not do that. Get up there. Get rid of those. It might be we need to just dynamite that out. Get rid of that. Put a piece of dynamite there. And we're probably going to need once that's opened up, at least one pylon. Oh, come on, they've all gone to bed. Why have they gone to bed? The other thing we can do while they're doing that, a few things we can do. Blast those. Put in the wheat. It's going to go there. Put in the contamination barriers that we can. We might need to put some down here. This might die off and we might need to put contamination barriers in. Right, that's us in. I'm pretty sure it's not going to let us do that. But what it might let us do is that. And in fact, what it'll let us do is that one. The reason I want to do that one is then this one we can connect off this way if we want to go exploring that way. And then what we might be able to do is there. Guessing we can't reach that But with a little bit of ingenuity, we have another drought approaching. She might be more ingenious. Okay. It's probably not going to let us do that, so we'll leave that. So once that's built, we probably don't need that. Let them recover those. Awesome. Was I sensible and did I put that on a path? I did not. Let's... There we go. I should have built that the other way around. Let's move that. There, that's better. And it's even closer to the add connection to there. Delete that little nub of path. Pick up the scrap and get that built. And that'll be that done. So that's got 2 connections, that's got 2 connections, that's got 2 connections. So there is a spare connection to take us off that way. So I think the next thing we want to do is come here. I'm going to do that. Sounds like there's more, or the continuation of the building work going on outside, so you might be able to hear some of that, unfortunately. Hopefully not too much of it. I'm going to get that ripped out because I think we're going to build our bot construction here. I'm going to turn that one into a levied one. And then we can, oh, I like that. It's much better. Yep. So, path off of there. Plenty of science. So we're going to do very small scale bot production. That was the suggestion, and I quite like it. So we're going to have 3 bot part factories. So we're going to have 3 bot part factories, and let's put in our power connection, and we're going to pause that one so they can reach that, but only 1 bot assembler. The idea being that limits how many bots we can build. And I really like that approach to managing the fact that there are genuinely some jobs which are or seem pretty much aimed at bots doing them. So, but not having bots really taking over the playthrough. So, yeah. So we need to have storage over here for planks, gears, metal beams, and fuel. We need to make fuel as well, but let's sort out the basics first. So I have to keep pausing the game. Say one of the dogs is a little bit under the weather, and the other one's just being an annoying dick today. So yeah. let's demolish that. And we'll make a bit more space with some landscaping. We've got a flooded building notification has cropped up, so let's just go. That's okay. That's our low water level pools, so that's fine. They're supposed to be flooded. You can be paused now. Right. Let's mark you for deletion. I'm going to prioritize the land. The drought has started. How much water did we get in here? Oh, we did good. Yeah, we filled it pretty much. Awesome. Awesome. So we might want to do... Well, we'll see how we go on. So I'm thinking is we will put piles for the planks and the metal beams. We'll obtain. Do we want to do? Yeah, let's put a bit more land in. Probably put those the wrong way around. As you can probably tell, I don't plan this stuff before we start particularly. So let's do that. Let's do that. And we'll do that. After that be gears. We'll set those to obtain. These will obviously be beavers to start with. We will also fill in this area in binary there. Yes, please. And we will make fuel out of spadadoc, because we've got plenty of that. So that means we need spadadoc and water being brought over. So spadadoc and water. Water, obtain. You need to be obtained, prioritized by haulers. Yep, there we go. We should probably prioritize those by haulers. Now, we might very well need to up our infrastructure. The other thing we want to do is make sure that it has unpaused itself properly, which it appears to have. Now, obviously, we have a lot of construction going on, which is using the same things, so that will have significantly impacted our supplies. So this might take a while to get going. That's absolutely fine. I am not worried about it if it does. We are going to wait until the morning because I think that's going to make a nice little thumbnail. And we probably want to put some fuel storage in here as well. Go. Just grab that. Awesome. And yeah, these guys are probably going to be waiting on components for things. We need to put in some storage for the things that they are making. Let's do that. There, if I was smarter. And I'm not, so we'll have to do it. Delete things and rebuild them. So There we go. So, limbs, chassis, and heads. And what we'll do is in the corner there, we'll do another one for limbs, because you need more limbs than you need of everything else. And then we will automate on products. I have yet to do automate on ingredients, so not seen it work. I've not really tried it, but you know, we want to reclaim another little chunk of land. I'm going to reclaim that. I should reclaim that. And let's put in an underground tank. Let's do that and have that be for biofuel. Awesome. Now that probably means our power grid is massively insufficient. But what we might be able to do is just start expanding it. But ultimately what we want to do is connect it into our new grid here. So these will store 1400 power is not bad actually, is it? 1400 power each is not too shabby, considering there's a lot of them. Yeah, we'll see how we get on with the power grid that we have. We'll make sure you are ticked to have a cable in the way of part of the screen with my janky recording setup. But yeah, that should be okay. That's getting done. So we'll let them do their thing. And maybe during the drought then we can come in here and work on this. So we are going to need to actually get to it, which probably means deleting. Do it this way. And we will also take care of the bad water extraction at the same time then. So we need to if we come at it from that angle, because we need to take the lid off. So we can see what we're working with. And we should put in, I thought I'd built one over here, obviously not. These guys could clearly do with a bulletin pole. Well-being, there's a decoration, there's decoration. There we go. If we put it there, it should affect them coming and going from the accommodation. So the other place to put one probably is there, because that's kind of a major hub of communication. And there, it should help a little bit with well-being. Nice. Right, let's detonate that. So let's got that opened up. Yeah, we're going to delete that. We're going to delete that and that then. You move those. but that might actually be bad because that's probably going to let out a whole lot of water. So I think we might just have to accept that we're going to lose some water from there, or we come in here, we delete that, and we just throw a couple of levees there as a high priority, and that will block up the plug hole we have just, or the drain we've just created. I think what we can do is maybe come out to about, and get rid of that for now. And we're going to probably end up making this a little bit bigger than it was before. So we'll drop down there to by 2. Go that way. And actually, I'm going to allow a bit more space for that. And we'll come to there, because what I want to do is put sluices there and there. Is that as much space as I want? Yeah, that should work, I think. Because then what I'm thinking is we'll put sluices there and there. And then we'll box off there. Let's put a single dynamite there so they can get down into that. It might be, yeah, we'll do it this way. Just because it's going to look a bit different to the other way that we did it. And that's fine. So over here now, we don't quite have our first bot being built. So this one we could automate off ingredients, and we could test that to see if it works, I guess. Yeah. So you should be automate on products, so you get paused. You should then restart because you've now got space for lots of product. Awesome. Do that. Then let's come here and here, and then we will start the tunneling process. I put the first one in so that I can then get my level right. And I hate the misclick reset, but we'll do that and that. Get this hooked up to the path like that. that reset. Going to need to blast out that. Needs to just be the one deep. Yep. Awesome. Cool, they're coming to do that. Stuff. Let's blow that up. So that should be sorted. And that can go across there. We're going to put that one there to neaten it up. These guys are starting to get at it down here, which is great. You can kind of see where the little bit of water in there is flowing to, and we'll be able to recover the planks if we want to. And then what we want to do is make sure they can do that. Maybe what I need to do is rotate those. That. Just nudge those up a little bit. And then we're going to do, if we do that and that, and get those prioritized. They're not building that one. Oh, there they go. Right, let's go back down here and put in some more path. Go, and then put in dirt there and there. So no. What we want to do is close above contamination 1%. Close below contamination 1%. Get those prioritized. So we will need to put a lid on top of this as well, obviously. So we will need that out there. Well, we have our first bot. We have an bot. Yeah, it's going to be slow. It's going to be a slow process, but that's fine. We could put some gear and plank production in here if we needed to, but no. It takes as long as it takes, to be completely honest. What I will do is just come in here and make sure there's a path going down that side as well, just in case they get cut off from doing what they need to do. So then what we can do is... You are going to let me do that, right? You just want to let me drag it. Fine. Fine. Let's come down here. making pretty good progress, even if I will misclick and reset the height of the terrain thing. Go. Yep, so this one can stay open because the water's flowing into there. I mean, this can be opened up now because it should stay. There we go. So that now gives 2 edges for that to fall into and come back out of. We might need it to be closed off, actually, for it to work. We might not. Because technically, and technically is the best form of correct, the exit a height should make it all okay. But I'm not sure I want to risk it, so yeah. And we're now in that weird transition where there's not enough water for these pools, but too much for those, which is kind of annoying, but you know. Is what it is. I think maybe, oh no, that needs 2 bots. Okay, I was going to say maybe we put the bot in there, but let's put him in there, and we will pause the other one. So we just have the one bot working in Dynamite, because we don't need that much of it anyway. Question mark. We've got quite a lot of it, so I think that'll be okay. Go. We are going to need dirt in front of there. And I am going to seal over there as well, even though technically it might not be needed. Oh wow, they're cracking on. Awesome stuff. So I might have to end things once we've got this job done, which might mean a shorter video because, yeah, Doggo is not happy. I need to pay attention to him today. Do we have another spare bot, or is it just because we're not using him in there? Okay. Maybe if they ever get a second one built, we'll manage to maybe alternate them between extract and explosives. Crazy, huh? How are they doing? They're making pretty good progress. Actually, I hate that reset feature. I don't know if you can turn that off. It's really annoying. It's really very annoying. That path should be long enough for them to finish that. So I can focus on up here. So that will seal that. We can tidy up the terrain afterwards. We're also going to want to put those in with impermeable floors on them. We might put dirt over it rather than impermeable floors, which means we potentially don't actually need them there. Yeah, let's do that. So that would look like doing that. And then that, and then that. And I guess just to kind of even it out, we could come all the way out so that it's a kind of square growth. And let's just have a look down here. So we've got 10 more to go. Let's just speed that process up, shall we? With a little bit of hyper speed. We now have 2 bots, so maybe by the time they've got this done, we will have a few more bots. We have a few gears and a few planks, plenty of metal, which is nice. That situation should all improve when we're not building a load of windmills and a load of water wheels and a load of gravity batteries. So, yeah. Because obviously they all make use of those. So if we go, there we go, we can watch them break on through. Or we've got a stuck beaver. We will, there we go. We will help them in a moment. Yep. Actually, they might need access to finish building all of that anyway. So do that. Awesome. So they are through. We're going to recover all of the planks because there is no reason to have 250 planks down here when we could really do with all of those planks. So let's put back the path so they can reach them all. Did build the path, didn't it? Yep. Awesome. Let's also make sure that this guy gets rescued. Those as well. Come on, now you can go. Let's get those built, and we have 3 bots now, so let's get them doing another job. Yep. Good stuff. Obviously, we want to get them working on replicating themselves as well. I think they are focusing hard on, in fact, they have pretty much cleared out all those planks. So, path and go. And obviously this is working on, so where you can do that. Part of the quest to clean the map up when we get bad tides. Might not actually be a bad idea to leave that access in, because we could also, there's a water source over here for 1, and for 2 we can get in the corner here and actually let's do it right. No, we'll leave the edges actually just in case they're needed. We can do that. Right, they got everything out of the tunnel. They have. So let's delete that. Let's delete that. Get those. Come on. Someone come get them. There we go. So just the come on. That to go now. You can also go. Come on. One log. Someone must need a log. With all that building you're doing, someone must need a log. No, too late. So then what we want to do is put dirt into there. We want to make sure that that one goes in first. And then we will backfill. Not actually, we could leave it hollow. We could just put one there so it looks like it's full and save on resources. Someone come build it, please. There we go. And you. We can delete that bit of path. That's all built. Awesome. Likewise, you. While we're here. And all the way out here. There we go. And that got built, so we just need to put that there. That'll be that sealed up. That'll be that dealt with. Let's say there are so many water sources. Like there's one just there. So many to deal with. I think there's one over here as well somewhere. But we'll get them. We'll get them all. But, folks, I think that is going to be that for today. Why are you stopped? Wow, they've really filled that big biofuel tank up. Wow. Okay. Maybe it's time to start doing that. But yeah, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. I'm sorry if this has worked out to be a short one. I'm not sure with the editing and the stopping and starting and all of that. And I will see you all next time. Bye for now.